Let's have a look at the camera functionality in the Sony Ericsson Xperia Arc phone. If you haven't seen some of the other reviews that I've done of cameras on mobile phones, I'd like to remind you that my setup looks something like this. And therefore the image on the screen will be completely black. The camera is located on the menu here, Camera. And this is what it looks like. So this is the image you'll see. Of course it's black now, so here you will see whatever you are pointing at with the camera. Down here you have flash, an easy to understand icon, where it's pretty simple to figure out what to press. Red eye reduction, off, auto. You will have a timer here, again an icon that is consistent with other cameras, where you can set the different timeouts. This icon here gives you access to touch capture, whether you want to have it or not. Up here is the resolution. 6M means 6 megapixels. And you can change it here if you want to. Again, you just press something and it simply changes. Pretty easy to understand. And up here you'll have something called SCN Auto. So this means that the camera detects which scenery it is. The camera here has it, the video camera doesn't, so I'll just show you the scenes that it can recognize. If I go into video camera down here on the film strip icon, I'll have scenes up here. This is the kind of scenes that the camera, the normal camera, can recognize. And of course this is very usable and very user friendly, because then you don't have to worry about if you're on the beach, if there's snow everywhere, if it's dark, if it's not, whatever. So it's very easy to understand and very simple. And if I wish to take a picture, I simply tap the screen. Now of course this picture looks strange, but that's because I'm taking a picture of the painted wood just below the camera here. If you press home down here, home will work as it normally does. If you press list, you'll see some other stuff. You'll see a rollout of the icons with labels on them, and you'll see two other options whether you wish to use geotagging. If you wish the shutter sound to be on and off, and different sounds as well. You can drag out this menu if you want to. So it's pretty simple to figure out how to take a picture with this camera. For me, the problems start the moment where I take the picture. If I touch the screen and take a picture, it focuses. This is how much I get of the image. Now here, on this black background, it seems like a lot of things is going on. And there are. There's a lot of stuff with autofocus, flash and everything, but notice the amount of time that the actual image is displayed at the screen. Here, and that's all the feedback you get. So if you're taking a picture of some kind of scenery, it's actually fairly difficult to see the picture that you've taken, to see, oh, it looks like this, maybe I should take a new one, because it's displayed for this second or similar. So I would like this image to be here for, let's say, 2 seconds, because then I'll have the time to decide if the image is okay or if I should take a new one. Also, right here on the screen, it's not easy for me to see where I go to my images. I've had this phone for half a week now or something, and it actually took me a few days to figure out how to go to my images. At first I thought it was some kind of usability bug that you couldn't go to the gallery from the phone, but it's actually possible and it's actually fairly easy. Only you need to be very awake in order to figure out how to do it. Let me start the camera. Let me do that again. So out here, for a second, is something that you can drag in the same manner as you can drag over here. So it's actually possible for me to see my images from here, because I have this very, very small thing I can drag out. And here you'll have my images. So this will be my last 5 images. This will be all of them. And I'm just going to disguise my wife here and my baby. So it's pretty simple to use once you get the idea that you should drag out here and drag backwards again. And actually, if you end the camera here with these 5 images displayed, go back or something, and then go into the camera again, you will have the images here with this slider so you can see it. but again the slide is only displayed for a second. So again, this camera is a little bit too fast. If this one would be visible for 2 seconds or something, it would be easier for the user to notice it, because the eye is simply dragged to the big icons over here. So here it is again. I go into the camera. Now where do you look? You look over here straight away. I would actually suggest that you could have access to gallery or something down here, because you've got plenty of space. And if people don't get it straight away, this sliding thing, then it can actually take days for them to discover it. It took me days, and I use the camera quite a lot. Also, there's a button out here. You cannot see it here, and I cannot swip the phone, so I'll advise you to go to Google Images and search for images of this. But there's a camera button out here. Now if you press it, it'll focus. And then if you press it fairly hard, it'll actually take the picture. And again, you'll see here how much time I get to see if my picture is okay. It's not much. If you are used to digital cameras, you'll learn that there is this: press the button down a little bit and it'll focus, press the button down some more and it'll take the picture. But it's not easy to understand here, because the click feel of this, as you can hear, this is a fairly audible and very tactile click. So it's difficult to understand that you should do like this, hear the sound, and then actually give it some more in order to take your picture. So let's say a more obvious click feel here would be very beneficial in order to understand that there are kind of 2 steps when you take the picture, because here, fairly easy, but here, listen very closely. There's almost nothing, and it feels almost like nothing, so you cannot really understand that you should press this very hard. So overall, the camera is pretty simple to use. You get almost all of the functionality here. You get the extra functionality here. You can switch easily between camera, video camera, and the screen doesn't change much. Now it shows me something about if I wish to have the light on, what kind of focus I wish, face detection, infinity. Again, these icons are simple to understand. This is a sign for infinity, this is a face. If you wish some kind of light reduction, of course it's not visible here because everything is black. If you reach HD or not, and what kind of scenery you want. And you'll have all these rolled out if you want to, as well as metering and white balance. So this is a phone that came straight out of the box. And default in the normal camera is touch capture, so I do like this, take an image. But nothing happens here. Here I'll actually have to press the button up here in order to get the camera to work, which is not very obvious for me. And I have to press it again in order to make it stop. So of course it would be beneficial for me to be able to use the knowledge that I get in the camera and take it to the video camera application, which means that I should be able to have touch capture here. And actually I do. If I go into the long list of settings, I can see touch capture here and I can put it to on. So then I can do like this and I'll start to record, and I can do like this and I'll stop again. So my advice here to Sony Ericsson is to be consistent between the camera and the video. I don't really care if you force me to use the button up here in order to take images or to take film in both applications, but it's a bit puzzling that I can do it in one application and that I cannot do it in the other by default. I know now that I can go into the list, find touch capture here, but it took me some time to figure this one out, because I have the functionality out here that I use the most, and in the camera it'll be touch capture, one of them. So either put touch capture out here or set touch capture as default method for taking a movie with the video camera. So overall, the camera/video camera application in this phone is great. It takes some great images. It has this scenery thing that means that I don't have to think about too much because the camera does most of the thinking. It has easy access to functionality. It's the same thing in the video, easy access to everything. But there are 3 things that bugs me a little bit. One of them, of course, is that I don't get too much time to see my picture. Here it was. The other one is that this easy access out here is difficult to see because it simply fades away too fast when I go into the camera. There you have it. And the third one is that touch capture is not set as default in the video camera because in the video camera I actually did like this quite a few times before I figured out that I can go and set touch capture. So make it consistent no matter if it's touch capture on or touch capture off.